Welcome to Plans Are Booked, a podcast for every reader. I'm Stephanie Blackburn, and today I'd like to welcome Emma Brodie to the podcast.
Woohoo! So excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Stephanie.
My usual first question is about childhood. When did you first, if you can remember, get into books and get into writing? And what were the books that you were just drawn to at the library or Scholastic Fair, or wherever it was?
It's such a great question. Oh my God, Scholastic Book Fair. That's like a memory unlocked. I've always been very into stories, and my mom is an incredible narrator. So I was very fortunate as a kid to be read to a lot. And so my first sort of intro to storycraft was basically just memorizing children's books. And it's like now my friends' kids do it. I was that kid, and I was pretty into any kind of story that I could get my hands on. So I got into a lot of like series as a young kid, which was pretty fun for me. Like I remember Boxcar Children loomed pretty large, Babysitter's Club,
Yep.
The Magic Tree House before that, and Nancy Drew I love to this day. I always loved just getting to listen and be transported into it. And I think my first impulse was always to kind of like act out the stories. And I have two younger siblings, and we would just go for it. And so I think that was sort of like an intro to like, in a way, like cosplay and fan fiction, because it was like taking characters from other people's stories and then we would act out our own scenarios in the backyard. And I think that was like the earliest form of creative expression. And then of course, like when I started to read and write myself, it was like, oh, I can just do this on my own, and I don't even need to get anyone else involved. Great.
The improv is coming through to me now.
Oh, yeah.
Natural journey. I want to start off. So we read Songs in Ursa Major. Well, we've kind of all taken different turns, but Caitlin and I read it 4 years ago, I guess. And then we made Molly read it. I think she read it in the past year or so, and we did an episode on it.
Amazing. Thank you.
And I think that I'm finding themes in both of your books, which are small town Massachusetts, which, as we're Massachusetts girls, we love. But also, there's something about like a big boisterous family on one side. There's addiction. There's a guy of means and a girl from a working class.
Yep.
And there's also houses as characters,
Yes.
which I love. When I think about Songs in Ursa Major, I immediately picture the house that I conjured in my head for Jane's family.
Yeah.
Like it's so distinct to me.
Yes.
And then Noah's aunt's house or family house is also so distinct in my head.
Yes.
And I think it's such a kudos to your writing that you have set something so firmly in like the recesses of my brain
Oh,
just from like describing these houses as characters.
I love that. Well, it's such a sharp read because often I am asked like, what are the similarities, and you just listed a lot of them, and to me they're pretty obvious. But it's like, one takes place. I think people get tripped up on the time period more than they think about like those kinds of things. So I think that's very perceptive. My mom comes from a very big family. My dad comes from a much smaller family. So as you're describing it, I'm like, yeah, I recognize that patterning for sure. But I think too, like it's cool to contrast like material wealth, which is the two men, and Noah and Jesse both come from wealthy families, but they don't have a ton of emotional support. Whereas like the girls are sort of rich in love. And I think AJ and Jane both have very complicated family lives, and they're both different birth orders. Like they have very different orientations towards their families, and their roles are very different, in addition to the family structures being pretty different from each other. But I do think there is this sort of like we band together, close knit, we have a family culture thing, and that also obviously feeds into the houses. So it's interesting, like with Noah in Into the Blue, like Drew House is like the castle on a hill. Like I love big gothic themes, and so he is, the landed gentry. Like he comes from the big house with all the secrets behind all the doors. And I think it's interesting because it's like in that story, AJ's the one escaping into his house, and in Jesse's house, which is also kind of a gothic mansion, Jane discovers things there. Like she first plays the piano there, which is sort of a metaphor for her engaging with her subconscious, but it's not a warm place. Like she doesn't relish her time there.
No, it's sterile.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I can see how there are similarities, but then also, I took different things and adjusted them in each story for what had to happen.
Well, I also really love Jane's house in Songs in Ursa Major because I don't know, I was picturing sort of like a Weasley type house, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Just like
yes.
big, lots of little like nooks and loved but like worn, which I think is sort of it's her as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's like shabby chic for sure. Gray Gables. It's
Yes.
it's super witchy sounding. I pictured it witchy. It's like I don't know if you come to the vineyard ever, but I actually picture Regent's Cove, which is the town that Jane's in, as Vineyard Haven. However, the house is one that I have taken from Oak Bluffs, which is called Tall Timbers, and it's part of the Methodist camping ground with all the little gingerbread cottages. It's the tall gray one, so that's the one that I sort of had in my mind, but I transplanted it into another town. And people are always like, "Oh, I know she lives in Oak Bluffs," and I'm like, "She doesn't live in Oak Bluffs." But yeah, it was really fun to imagine because I wasn't living on the vineyard at the time. I've since moved here like during the pandemic, and I wrote Songs in Ursa Major in 2019. So I think a lot of my yearning to be here came through in the writing. And yeah, just picturing that house, it's also a place of comfort in my mind too.
Well, let's talk about Into the Blue. You were writing this on the vineyard. What is like your perfect writing space? Do you have to like set up the room every single time in a certain way, or you just
I mostly write in my office. I have a little couch that I sit on. So basically, so I have a day job, which I'm sitting right now as we're speaking. I'm sitting at my desk, which is where I do my day job work. And then to write, I switch angles in the same room. So I go over to the couch and I look out a different window and I put in earplugs, and that's pretty much the Pavlovian bell that gets me to switch modes. So it's not like elaborate. Like when I was living in New York, I was sharing a one room apartment with my husband, so it wasn't like I could physically get away from him. So I learned like different tricks to kind of like block out the distraction and the noise, and that's pretty much all it takes. I'm like a dog, like I circle and then I sit and I do my thing.
I love that. I think we should just jump into the Blue, but do you want to intro it first, just to give listeners who may not have been subjected to me making them read it?
Sure. Into the Blue is an epic love story about AJ Graves and Noah Drew. It starts in the year 2000 when AJ is working at a video store. And she and Noah meet. They become acting partners, have a mutual fascination with improv and the same sci fi television show. And they have this magical summer where they forge this deep cosmic connection. And then at the end of the summer, Noah disappears without a word. The story then follows them for the next 13 years as they crisscross all the different mediums that end up in the video store. So AJ becomes a writer for SNL, Noah becomes an Academy Award winning actor, and at one point they both star in a cult TV show called Into the Blue, which is where the book's title comes from. And ultimately it's really a story about two people trying to figure out what lights them up and what their lives would need to look like in order to have that.
So I think the reason that this tickled my funny bone so much is because I grew up in a Star Trek family.
Yay. Same.
And so like I was picturing Star Trek the entire time and what that would be like having to improv that, how that would be. And also like fandom is such an intense thing. Like you might come into it as like a teenager and throughout your life it's still there, but it like changes. Like my sister goes to cons, so I'm like
Love.
thinking about that in the back of my mind. Um, there's just like such a I don't really know how to explain fandom. It's like an intensity, it's a passion, but it's like beyond just the characters. It's like,
It's a wavelength.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's right. It's like I think of fandom as sort of like like a ticket into another world where it's like you
Mhm.
have a stamp on your passport that's like, I'm a Twilight fan, I'm a Star Trek fan, I'm a Harry Potter fan, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. And
Yep.
if you meet someone and they have the same stamp on their passport, you instantly are sort of like from the same country and you speak the same language. And it doesn't matter that you don't know anything else about this person. You're like, oh, I'm so glad I found this person at the party because now I can talk about Twilight for the next hour. And that's all I want to talk about. And that's all they want to talk about. And it's like, yeah, it's nice to have this thing that like kind of removes you from the particulars of your own life, but it's still very much a part of you and it's real for you. And yeah, I think writing this book, I was, part of what I'm doing is creating this epic love, and part of an epic love is having a shared language. So I wanted their relationship to sort of be braided in with fandom, because I think that's a really beautiful metaphor for what it is to meet someone and instantly be like, oh, you're one of my people. So yeah, I think growing up in a fan family, like having, again, we talked about like family a bit at the beginning of the call. It's like having a large family, being able to sort of key in with different people based on just like, we like the same book, we like the same show, we like the same sports team. It's like, it's such a useful thing in life, isn't it?
How did you pick sort of like a Star Trek fandom? Like, did you ever think of something else and then worked your way towards this, or was it always going to be this sort of?
It's going to be sci-fi. So I have a very specific like reason for why this particular one sort of sparked in my brain. A, it's what I like, so that's easy. And then B, I hadn't really thought about it that much because I don't know, fandom isn't like the first thing that I put out about my personality. I think because I inherited it, I didn't have to fight for it. So it's not like I've had to prove that I'm a fan my whole life. Like I grew up kind of entitled to being a fan because my parents are both fans of Star Trek and Star Wars and many other things. So it had sort of been backburnered, and then I was watching a rerun of Castle, the murder mystery show.
Which is fantastic.
So fun. And Nathan Fillion is like constantly plugging Firefly, which is one of my favorite shows. Just like doing like subtle things, like he'll dress as a brown coat, or he'll dress as Mal Reynolds in a Halloween episode. It's like very subtle but fun if you know.
Yeah.
And then there was an episode called the Final Frontier that's directed by Jonathan Frakes, who plays Riker in Star Trek TNG.
Yep.
And Nathan Fillion's in it, and it's a murder that takes place at a fan convention, and it's just like full of Easter eggs, a
so good.
fake space opera. But I was like, that is so fun because like anyone can watch this and pick up on it. It's like you didn't need to be a Trekkie in order to understand what you were watching, but it was so fun if you were a Trekkie. And I was like, I really liked that. Like I loved that experience of like unexpectedly coming here and finding something that I can like relate to on a bone level, and it's celebrated. So that sort of made me want to try to play in that space. And I think there's also like a pretty straight pipeline of like British Shakespearean actors into sci-fi roles. So it's like, I think that to me made it very intuitive with like Eudora and the Drews, that like this would be something that would happen. So it never occurred to me not to have it be a space opera. And I knew that like Star Trek sort of brings the like multi-generational piece, because initially AJ and Noah are fans of Astronauticals, and then Into the Blue is a prequel for Astronauticals that's filmed subsequently. So there are so many different Star Treks within the Star Trek franchise, and that was sort of what gave me permission to do that. And then the show itself, though, is like very much a combination of Firefly and Avatar: The Last Airbender, which are two other shows that I am absolutely obsessed with. So it was really fun to sort of like celebrate that. And then like I would be remiss if I didn't mention Reylo, who are like a huge obsession of mine. And I think the show is sort of Firefly structured, but Anna and Ro, who are the main ship within the show, are
I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. So it's a mix of all these different things that I super love, and just wanted to like, steal an extra few minutes in that world with slightly different powers.
So I work at a bookstore, and one of my coworkers, she's like a strictly fantasy girly, and I've been trying to get her to read this, and I was like, you're into fandom. I know that you could get on board with this book because of this like nerdy niche aspect to it that will bridge the gap into like a romance type.
Yeah. No, I mean I really think of Noah as like he's not a shadow daddy, but he plays one on TV, and he's got a lot of there are a lot of commonalities there. Like I got into romantasy after I'd written a couple drafts of Into the Blue, but I fell so hard for Fourth Wing. I actually put a Fourth Wing reference in the book. Like the in the third section, the Empyrean Conference Center is like named. That's like because I love those books so much. So I think it's like I love that tradition of storytelling. I love the epic stakes, and I think that's a commonality as well. So it's like you've got this nerdy stuff, but then they're also like on a big life or death quest, which is very romantic-y, even though it's contemporary. Yeah, it's I love that space. I want to like write to her after and be like, give us a shot.
Speaking of fandom, we need to talk quickly about your t-shirt campaign because I almost bought it twice.
My God, are you one of the lurkers who has it in her cart? Because we just sent out a promo code about this. Oh my God.
No, the day you posted about it, I was like, do I need this top? And I went back and forth and I was like, Stephanie, you don't need another crop top. You just don't need it. Even though like I love the niche clothing, like I have a Fourth Wing broccoli with like a little backpack on t-shirt.
Cute. Oh my
Like I love a niche book reference, but I left it in my cart and I X'd out at Etsy. And then I think it was yesterday you posted about the people who are starting to copy. And I was like, okay, now I need to go back in and think about this a second.
Yeah, so okay, the story is I'm now a crop top salesperson. That's the gist. We designed this promo shirt for the book. It's an astronautical themed. It just says astronautical out of the black into the blue. It's very classic, and we made a bunch of them in the on-ramp to publication. They were really well received. It's like my number one DM request is this shirt. And we're working on getting it released for broader consumption, but my publisher owns the design. We have a printing partner lined up, but it's like there are now a lot of cooks in the kitchen, so it's going to be more of a process. So amid like daily requests for this astronautical shirt, I was like, we had a runner-up design. I'm going to make this. And the reason we didn't make it is because it doesn't say Into the Blue anywhere on it. It just says Summer of the Gothic Sex Mansion, and it looks sort of like a postcard being billed from the sex mansion, and it's amazing. And so I just kind of like got on a roll. Like I've been on the road, I haven't been able to like create anything, and I was like, I'm gonna make this shirt. So I like went into debt over it, basically. Like contacted my designer because I really believe in paying for their work. So I contacted my designer, I commissioned the design. You have to license the fonts and the images. I did that. And then I printed one, which is like a larger amount of money if you're just printing one. Mm-hmm. And it came and it's so cute and so good. And then it was like this moment of like, oh my God, this is actually the most expensive item of clothing that I own, because like I produced all of it myself, and just like that realization. And I was like, I printed one. So yeah, I like announced this, and the blue coats, my readers are amazing. And like I posted 50 shirts and we sold out, which was incredible. So I was able to get myself out of crop top debt. And then because of all that action, the
copycat.
I don't know how it works, but like on Etsy, I guess there's like a whole economy of people who see when something goes hot and they're like, we're going to do this. So like we have like 20 imitators on Etsy right now for this crop top, which was like a complete whim. It's so funny. And it's not like people are like, searching the crop top. Like I'm pretty sure it's just coming through my social media. But anyway, it's become like this thing. So yeah, like I hate thieving of intellectual property. Like,
yes.
Etsy doesn't have a great complaint mechanism for this. However, I have found a connection and I'm working through their back channels right now. And it's like, it's not even that I expect to like we're actually donating the proceeds for the crop top to like a mental health awareness charity. Me and another author, Ariel Sullivan. It's not like I'm getting anything out of this. It's just the principle of the thieving of the design. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but Team Crop Top for the win. Thank you for letting me speak about my beloved crop top.
See, now I feel like I'm going to go back in later and actually purchase it.
I mean, I'm not going to talk you out of it. Like, it's going to a good cause, and it is a very cute crop top. And now you're also taking a stand for art. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you sold me. I don't know if you can talk about this, but so I got my copy from work because we get ARCs in, and on mine it said it was coming out on my birthday, July 14th, but then it came out in April. Can you talk at all about like
yes,
why that happened?
of course. So, first of all, that's so fun. I'm a Pisces, you're a Cancer. I was feeling a vibe and now I'm really feeling it. Um, we were originally going to publish on Bastille Day, great pub day. And then Reese Witherspoon picked Into the Blue for her April pick. So that is why we moved the pub date up, because we wanted to take them up on that opportunity, which was incredible. And yeah, for sure. There's a part of me that's like, I've been publicizing this book for several weeks. It's been the most incredible, surreal, amazing publication. And also, there's part of me that's like, it's over? Like, it happened? Like, we weren't supposed to go on sale until July. So it's like, I'm still reeling from the fact that we moved it up, because that's like 3.5 months is like pretty much your entire runway for a book. But it was absolutely, absolutely a the right decision and like a great opportunity, and I have nothing but incredible things to say.
Well, and you also got to go to the con and like promote it with this great group of women.
Oh yeah, well, so that's Thousand Voices. So I'm very spoiled. So I have two incredible groups of women. So the RBC crew became part of the publication in January, and then my imprint, Thousand Voices, and they're part of Valentine, who is my Penguin Random House home. They are also amazing promoters, and that's Jenna Bush Hager's imprint. And so BookCon, what you're talking about is I got to go and be on a panel with my fellow Thousand Voices authors,
Mm-hmm.
Ariel Sullivan, who does Conform and Beneath, and Anna McCallie, who's got a book coming out, Abby Offsides, which is like the cutest rom-com. Like, it's like Ted Lasso, but hot. And that's coming out this summer. I've had so many amazing women. Like, I feel like that's the thing with Into the Blue. It's like you are a continuation of this trend. Like, Into the Blue just introduces me to the best women.
Well, I also think maybe this was meant to be because you kind of took off before Memorial Day, and that's when people are going to start buying like beach reads for the summer. So it's just going to continue, as the summer goes on.
I appreciate that insight as a bookseller, because as someone like inside the business, it's like we're constantly trying to figure out like what is real and what's just our perception. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's like really great to hear. And I hope that happens. I think it's a fun summer book, and yeah, it's pretty amazing just getting to see people react to it already. So
Well, Caitlin said on our episode that we did about Into the Blue that it is her book of summer. She was like, I don't care what else I read this summer, nothing's going to top this.
that's awesome. That's
And she's hard to please.
that's great. I'll take it.
Can we also talk about the cover art? Do you want to?
Yes. This is actually the Target edition. So we wanted to sort of get at both Star Trek and Now That's What I Call Music For, which is another key element of the book in the cover design. And we also wanted to have like a little bit of a metaphor, like physical manifestation of AJ and Noah, because I was very particular. I didn't want figures because I have such a clear idea of what these people look like. I knew it was gonna take 3 years if we had to get actual illustrations of AJ and Noah. So we have these two comets that are like converging at the reading line, that are sort of like AJ and Noah coded. So this one's a little pink and this one's kind of black, and yeah, that AJ and Noah. So yeah, it's juicy. It's like, I think of it as like sadness candy. It's like you want to pick it up.
Yes.
It's like it's a tactile object, and like, the dream as an author is that you would go into the bookstore and buy your own book, and I definitely feel like if I walked in I would pick this up. So yeah, very happy cover process here.
I mean, it's so eye catching and stands out against whatever else is sitting on the shelf beside it,
That's awesome. Well,
which is the hope. Um, okay, so Caitlin claims that this is literary fiction. How do you feel about that?
that's so funny. I was having a conversation this morning with one of my friends who's an author. Yeah, it is. Like, it's not literary fiction. And this is the thing. It's like My first book was published by Knopf, which is a
Mhm.
literary powerhouse imprint. My second book is published by Ballantine, which is a commercial powerhouse imprint. I
Mhm.
am the same writer. I did not change the tone with which I write. So I guess my feeling on genre is like it is subjective. Like it is totally subjective. Like I try, like my goal for myself as an artist is to create with everything I have. So that means
Mhm.
using my commercial skills, that means using my literary skills and leaving nothing on the table. Like I don't want my art to suffer because I'm trying to fit myself into a
Mhm.
bubble that who even gets to make that up? Who even gets to say what it is?
Mhm.
So I think this absolutely has literary elements. Like there are aspects of it that have huge tradition. Like it's structured like a gothic novel. It's got lots of literary devices. I think on a line by line level, there's a lot that I fought for that is more like I don't want to say on the pretentious end of the spectrum. That's not very selling, but it's like I fought very hard to keep craft and rhythm and all of that. And at the
Mhm.
same time, it's like there are things like big sex scenes and
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff in here that's like much more commercial that I was really using tools I learned from more commercial writers to make them as good as they could be.
Mhm.
So I'm not, it's not that I'm not fond of labels. I'm just like, yeah, give me all the labels. Like
Mhm.
it can be literary and it can be like fun. And I think one of the debates in the book is like, can art not be cerebral and hot? And
Mhm.
for me, that's like, that's what this is. Like, that's where I connected to it is like, I want this to be as cerebral as it can be and as hot as it can be. And that was very much the mission. So, yeah.
See, I think for me, because this book destroyed me, I don't know if you remember the video of me crying in bed as I finished it. This book, I don't even know how to talk about it. Like it hurt my chest on such a deep level. Like I felt so fully invested that to me it's a epic romance because of how much I was invested in their journey and their love and the idea of them fighting for each other.
I love
Like
that.
it oh god, like I would I'm a crier, but I would just start crying again if I started talking about it too much.
Oh,
It's so good.
I know that I was not a normal person after I finished writing this book. Like I'm able to talk about it now with a great deal of
Mhm.
humor, but like at the time I was like Akatar actually saved me. Like I had never read Sarah Mass and my father-in-law had
Interesting.
got A Court of Thorns and Roses for me like the box set for the holidays and when I finished my second draft of Into the Blue, I was like it was like that F. Scott Fitzgerald line, like I was under an unfamiliar sky. I was like, I don't because they were just gone and it was like the circus had left town and I like didn't know how to cope. So I read all of Akatar back to back twice and it was like it like nursed me back to mental health. I hear you. Like AJ and Noah are they're so real
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing like they really go to that like perfect beautiful place that like we all get to touch once or twice in our lives and we don't get to stay there
Mhm.
um and I think it's such a bittersweet story and yeah it's hard to leave them. That was bittersweet too, so I hear
Mhm.
you.
What do you want readers to take away from the book? Is there anything that you're like, I hope they're feeling this way, or I hope they're focusing in on this one scene, or you know?
I mean, this is such a prosaic answer, but I hope they take whatever they need. So, like, I think for me, like, there's a lot of permission offered in the book. Like, it's permission to go your own way, and I think AJ is fighting so hard to live up to everyone's expectations, and it's I was very careful about this. It's like there aren't even expectations that are like heavily articulated to her. It's just like it's so understood that she's expected to like get married and have kids at some point. And I think figuring out how to do that in a way that allowed her to be true to herself and to her heart is her version of that journey. But I think we all have a version of that conversation or multiple versions of that conversation. Like I have friends who struggle with self-consciousness over posting on social media and it's like go ahead and do it. Like I have friends who struggle with much deeper things like oh I really want a third kid but like this isn't a good decision for X reason. It's like figuring out how, like, whether those things are actually off the table that you've talked yourself out of, and facing the fact that, like, it might not be too late can be a real act of courage. And I hope that if people are having any kind of wavering about anything, like, that they can take the opportunity to avoid potential regret after reading the book.
I love that. I think there's also a lot of hope in it.
Me too.
I'm a cynical person, but I took hope away from this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
What are you reading right now? Is there any book you want to sort of shout out that you're loving?
Well, okay, so I am right at the end of this Shattered Tempest by Thea Gounzon, which is the third Hurricane Wars book. And it's coming out, I think, later this year. I got a galley because I like harassed the editor because I love this series so much. So it's a trilogy. This is the final act. It's everything I want it to be. I've been reading it for like 2 weeks because I don't want it to end. But I'm loving that right now, and the first two are amazing. So yeah, I love that series.
Have you read Direbound?
No,
Oh,
I need to. Okay.
yes. So the second book just came out 2 weeks ago. I mean, I guess this is sort of subjective if you're into like werewolves. It's an author duo and one is in Massachusetts.
Oh my god, amazing.
It's not what I expected it to be. It's not like a waif of a female protagonist. She's like a tough fighter.
Yes, great, love. Okay, this sounds phenomenal.
So if you need some books,
Yeah, definitely. It's going on the list right now. Thank you so much.
you've just finished sort of like the beginning of the publishing journey because you're going to be promoting this
All summer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But do you want to tease like are you thinking of any new projects or
I'm idea dating at the moment, so I don't have anything. But part of the thing with pulling up the pub date is that I had expected to get back to work on something new before my new pub date. But when the year got rearranged, there's been a lot to do. And RBC is incredible, and they give you the opportunity to put together a lot of content for them. So in the lead up to publication, I was very focused on Into the Blue and like just various opportunities my publicist found. It's like a lot of like small essays here and there. So I haven't had a second, and now I'm home and I'm like, it's May. Oh my god, like where did these months go? But I'm actively seeking. So I'm idea dating. My cab light is on. I'm like putting it out there, and like I'm a big like Julia Cameron devotee, and I think you do need to show up every day and work, and that's my plan. And then when the universe wants to, it will show you what you're supposed to be doing. So that is the plan. So
it's also good to take the summer off and enjoy nice weather when we actually get it.
and like very true, very true. I feel like I need to say this like for my publisher and my editor. I'm not planning to take the summer off. But I am gonna like definitely take the opportunity to enjoy how beautiful it is, and like definitely get some beach days, and yeah, for sure.
Do you want to plug any like your website or your Insta handle or anything?
Yes. So I'm on Substack at emma.brodie, and I'm on Instagram at emma.c.brodie. Probably should have made those match, but wasn't thinking ahead. Yeah, so if you want to find me and see me post about my dog and my books and occasionally crop tops, Instagram is the place that I am the most active for sure. And I send out a newsletter about once a month.
Wonderful. Listeners, if you want to follow along at Plans Are Booked on Instagram, we post every book we mention in each episode. And we have some cute little videos there you can check out. And if you want to email us, we are plansarebbooked@gmail.com. We love hearing from listeners. So until next time, our plans are booked.